When we talk about evil, most people imagine rage, violence, chaos, but sometimes the most dangerous people are quiet, patient, and normal. The man I'm painting today lived in silence for years. His neighbors never suspected a thing. His smile gave nothing away. His voice never raised. But what he did was one of the most disturbing cases in modern crime. His name was Jeffrey Dahmer, and behind this ordinary face was a life of obsession, manipulation, and cold violence. This story is not for shock, it's not for fear, it's to remember what happens when warning signs are ignored and evil is left unchecked. Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer was born in 1960 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. His early life didn't look tragic on the outside, but it was fractured. His parents fought constantly. His mother had severe anxiety and sometimes seizures. His father, a chemist, was emotionally distant and focused on work. Jeffrey was a quiet child, timid and often alone. But even from a young age, his mind turned toward death and control. At just 4 years old, he had double hernia surgery. His father said after that, Jeffrey seems different, detached and cold. By age 6, he was collecting dead animals, roadkill, bones. He could skin them, dissolve them, store them, not out of cruelty, but fascination. He wanted to control what was inside. Instead of stopping him, his father showed him how to bleach and clean bones, thinking it was just curiosity. He had no idea what he was feeding. But his teenage years, Dahmer was drinking daily, alone, and he would hide bottles in his school locker. He didn't fit in, but he learned how to pretend. He became the class clown to hide the growing darkness inside. And inside, the thoughts got worse. He imagined dominating men, controlling their bodies, making them stay, and that fantasy eventually turned real. In the summer of 1978, just after graduation, Dahmer picked up 18-year-old hitchhiker Stephen Hicks. He invited him to his house to drink. Stephen agreed, but when Stephen wanted to leave, Dahmer didn't want him to. He struck him in the head with a dumbbell, then he choked him to death. He dissected the body in his parents' basement, boiled the flesh off, crushed the bones with a sledgehammer, and scattered them in the woods behind the house. He was 18 years old, and no one ever questioned where Stephen went. After that, Dahmer went quiet. He tried college, dropped out, joined the army, got discharged for alcohol abuse. He returned to Ohio, then to Milwaukee, but the thoughts never left. In 1987, inside a hotel room, Dahmer met 25-year-old Stephen Tuomi. He claimed he blacked out, said he woke up with Stephen dead beside him, but instead of reporting it, he bought a large suitcase, packed the body inside, and carried it out through the lobby. Back at his grandmother's house, he dissected Stephen's body. This time, he kept parts of it. The bones, the skulls. He was starting a collection. What followed was a pattern. He would go to gay bars, lure men with the promises of money or photos, bring them home, drag them, and strangle them. Then he'd pose the bodies, photograph them, and over time he began to keep more. Hearts, skulls, hands, full skeletons. He said, "I want them to stay. I didn't want to lose them." He tried making altars out of body parts. arranged bones on black cloth, stored torsos in acid-filled barrels. He even drilled holes into victims' skulls and poured acid inside, trying to create zombies who would never leave him. He wanted complete control over the body, over the will, over life itself. By 1991, he had killed at least 17 men and boys. Some of them were as young as 14. His victims were mostly young men of color. Many were runaways, immigrants, or people the system had already forgotten. That's how he got away with it for so long. Police missed signs. One victim, 14-year-old Konerak Sinthasomphon, managed to escape. He ran into the streets naked, bleeding, and disoriented. Neighbors called police, but when officers arrived, Dahmer calmly told them it was a lover's quarrel. They handed Konerak back to him. He was murdered minutes later. On July 22, 1991, Dahmer invited Tracy Edwards, a 32-year-old man, to his apartment, offered $100 to pose for photos. Once inside, Tracy saw a blue barrel, a bloody mattress, and a foul smell. Dahmer handcuffed him and held a knife, but Tracy stayed calm. He waited for his moment, and then he ran, barefoot, out the front door, straight to police. He led them back to apartment 213. What they found changed everything. In the fridge, a human heart. In the freezer, 3 heads. In the closet, skulls, photos, and body parts in bags. A large barrel filled with acid held decomposing remains. Polaroids show the entire process, from alive to arranged. It was so disturbing, one officer said. I've been on the force 20 years and I will never forget what I saw in there. When they turned to Dahmer and asked why, he simply said, I've been doing this for a long time. For what I did, I should be dead. Jeffrey Dahmer confessed to 17 murders. He gave dates, names, even detailed his experiments. He said he didn't kill out of hate. He killed to have control, to make people stay, to stop being alone. His lawyers argued insanity, but prosecutors said he planned, he cleaned, he hid. That's not madness. That's intention. The jury agreed. Dahmer was found legally sane and sentenced to 15 life sentences. In court, he said, "This is not to make excuses. I take all the blame. I want to find out what made people beautiful inside." In prison, Dahmer claimed to find God. He was baptized, attended services, but he also joked about his crimes. He made food look like body parts. Other inmates were sickened by him. One inmate, Christopher Scaver, decided it had to end. On November 28 of 1994, Scarvers attacked Dahmer and another man during cleaning duty. He beat them with a metal bar. Jeffrey Dahmer died an hour later. He was 34 years old. No funeral, no headstone. His remains were cremated. This face I've painted is not angry, not wild. It's calm, even gentle. That's what makes it worse. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't chase people through the streets. He didn't wear a mask. He smiled. He offered them drinks. He made them feel safe. And then he did what he did. Sometimes evil doesn't show its teeth. Sometimes it whispers and lives in the quietest apartment in the building. This was a story of Jeffrey Dahmer. Thank you for watching. If you want to hear more true crime stories told through portrait paintings, subscribe. I'm G. Neck and this is Crime Scene Portrait. See you in the next one.